everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. Fasten your seatbelts for one of the great divisional rivalries in the NFL. This is the first of 2 games between these teams this year, and you know it's going to be entertaining. It's the Broncos going up against the Chargers. With kickoff straight ahead, let's check in with the 2 men who will be calling tonight's game. So we say hello to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Larry, we are a little less than 10 miles inland from the blue waters of the Pacific Ocean as we greet you from lovely San Diego, California. Tonight, it's on to Week 4 as we've got a good Thursday night matchup in store between the Denver Broncos and the San Diego Chargers. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now a first down throw. Simeon underneath. This is Bernard. And an alley to run. A good pickup there at 22. And they talked about how important the passing game was going to be against that defensive look. Good job there going to the air for the first down.
It's all about preparation. It's all about planning. And then it's about execution. So put it all together in practice. Okay, this is what we think we're going to see. This is how they get to it. And then when the game comes, read it and attack it.
Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49. A gang of Charger defenders there for the tackle. And I don't want to say that this offense starts and ends with Demaryius Thomas, but sometimes it starts and ends with Demaryius Thomas.
There's no reason you can't say it if it's the truth. He is the alpha and the omega of the receiving corps.
And he will find his man for the first time, Demaryius Thomas. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. A good pickup there at 20 yards.
He's come a long way since his time at Georgia Tech. What did he run at Tech? He ran hitches and go routes, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, but he ran them really well. He averaged well over 20 yards a catch while he was there. And he still creates downfield in the NFL. That big body and that willingness to go catch the football. He's pretty impressive.
And his friends call him Bebe, the nickname his uncle gave him back in the day.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Jalen Strong, the intended receiver, and it's third down. And we'll take a look quickly at the San Diego defense.
Corey Legion is rapidly making a name for himself as a defensive tackle. Knows how to penetrate upfield and disrupt plays in the backfield.
Simeon now to throw. Strong grabs it over the middle. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And McManus able to put it through. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. So it's our visitors who make the first dent in the scoreboard as they get 3 here on the initial drive of the ball game.
Yeah, it's hard to say who actually won that opening drive. On the one hand, anytime you can come in as a road team and get an early lead, you're going to be thrilled. But at the same time, to have the ball as deep in enemy territory as they did and come away with only 3, that's got to be a little bit of a disappointment.
So the D-line's going to spread out.
56, Mike, boys, 56. Check, 56.
Now Hogan. And this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Play clock all the way to 0. Didn't get the snap off. 5-yard penalty.
And you see the head coach writing that note on his play sheet right now. He's going to be addressing that with his staff. A sense of urgency, get to the line of scrimmage, snap the ball.
Got his left. Got his left. 4 down. Check. Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19. I'm coming after you.
Hogan now. He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, let's get 30, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
The 20. And all the way home for a Bronco score. Giovanni Bernard, his first touchdown on the year. And the Broncos will extend their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
He's got it, and now it's a 10-0 lead here in the opening quarter. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Here comes Johnson on the return. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Out comes the San Diego offense as they get set to see what they can do here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. Gavin Escobar, his big tight end, was the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down. Time to get a glance at the offensive starters, and one of those isn't J.J. Watt, but it's Derek Watt that we talk about.
Nothing wrong with being little bro here. A starting fullback at the University of Wisconsin. Not many teams are utilizing this position in the NFL, but he fits perfectly. Will be a great lead blocker and can catch the ball out of the backfield.
And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves him with 14 yards still to go on third down. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Now the pressure gets to Hogan, and he goes down on the sack. Derek Wolfe in there to drop him for a loss of 10, and it'll be 4th and long. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down. It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. Time running out here on the play clock. Throwing on 3rd down, Simeon. He's got his man here. It's Green. And he gets this one all the way up to the 40-yard line.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Now Simeon to the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Here's Simeon. And his throw is incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
So a 2nd down incompletion now brings up 3rd down. To the air again, Simeon. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now 4th down. 4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Travis Benjamin, deep for San Diego. "35 yards that time on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now San Diego getting set to go. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jadeveon Clowney in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
Here's Drew Kaiser now. On for his 2nd punt. He'd take a repeat of his 1st. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And taken at the 46. 12 yards on the return that time. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. And Denver getting set to take the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Back to the air, Simeon on second down. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's third.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Over the middle, it's Thomas. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And McManus able to put it through. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense, and over the post.
The Chargers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least.
Now the ball comes loose. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Now Hogan.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Hogan now. Looking deep downfield. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down. Second down now after the incompletion.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop. We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game, really at the point of its...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Shedd. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. On first down, Simeon. Strong grabs it over the middle. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
No gain, and it's second down. They'll fake it. Now Simeon. Sanders has it over the middle. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold. And that one was knocked away, and I think the defenders are going to be a little upset with themselves. They made the play on the football, but that one felt like a forced pass by the quarterback. Thought he had someone open. He really wasn't. Maybe an example of having too much confidence in his receiver that no matter what, I'm going to throw it to him. And that was a play made by the defense, and it could have been a bigger one. Whenever I see an in-route dropped, as we just saw in that play, I'm always thinking that in the back of their mind, they're worried about what's coming at them because they're going towards traffic on that route as opposed to being away from it. And maybe
and he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Robbie Anderson, his second touchdown on the season. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. And that one pushes the lead up to an even 20. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And the Chargers coming out on the field now. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects it.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence.
He's got a man complete. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
Keenan Allen, the intended target, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
23 yards on the play.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there that sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Now a shotgun, nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And this is going to be incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
Now a 1st down throw, Simeon. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Defense really showing respect to the deep ball here, playing off the receivers. Now a play fake, and it's Simeon. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Simeon. Got a man. He finds Sanders. And he is out of bounds, just a yard or two shy of the 30. So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room, as we will send you eastward to Orlando and Larry Ridley. He's standing by with our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Larry. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This will be fielded at the 6. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there, because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they felt they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Hasn't had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Caught left side, Williams. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 10 yards on the pickup there, and that'll be good for a San Diego first down.
Here we go.
Now a play fake here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Jadeveon Clowney in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. And quickly they get to the line. Now Hogan. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Eluding the pressure right. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. One man in the backfield is Gordon. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Hogan now backing up. He's going to look for... That's caught inside the 20. A big gain that time for the Chargers. 33 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker.
And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Keenan Allen, the intended receiver. And now it's third down. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
Can't find anyone open. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Third down is the down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win, and the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
And this one will not work out. It is incomplete. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. Simeon on first down. Underneath, this is Bernard. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time. That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps.
Looking for Sanders, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. 20. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six and a Charger TD.
Now that was a beautiful play. A pick six. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean, with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position of throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
And now look at him go. Past the 20. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Broncos will extend their lead. And with his speed, if he just finds the slightest crease, he can take it the distance like he did there.
How about the leverage up front? Offensive line out-leveraging the defensive front to create that space, that crease that he was looking for. And once he hits open field, he's going to be very difficult to catch and corral.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Here comes the Chargers offense now back out onto the field. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you've got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Jadeveon Clowney in there to get him for his second sack of the night. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. Derek Wolfe in there to drop him for his second sack now here tonight.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right? And got his man complete. The 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, San Diego. Tyrell Williams, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Chargers, they're able to cut into that deficit. Good pass, clean catch, and a house call there on the fly route.
And not that much room to operate. So that tells you about his acceleration. We always talk about being able to go from 0 to 60 real fast. Took him less time than that to get to top speed and complete that play.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Throwing on 3rd down, Simeon. Deep drop. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. 17 yards on the pickup there, and also a 1st down.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. And the cut, Giovanni Bernard, nothing but green grass. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Giovanni Bernard with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Chargers offense gets set. They head back onto the field. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay. Until they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent. But you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone.
They'll look to throw here. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in. Touchdown, San Diego. Tyrell Williams with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Chargers are able to close the gap just a bit. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. And Denver getting set to take the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more.
And now the rookie's free. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Broncos will extend their lead. They'll give it to him right up the gut. Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Chargers offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch it.
Gordon loses the football. It's loose. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. And coming out now, the Broncos. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive.
I guess they figure with a guy who is that hot downfield, who knows how to get the ball into the end zone, you throw it up and give him every opportunity, even though that one fell incomplete.
Yeah, he's already been in the end zone multiple times, tried to target him again deep there, but unsuccessful. Benjamin with it over the middle. A good pick up there of 20 yards. There were a couple holes there, partner. Was that zone coverage?
That's exactly what it was, Brandon. When you see man-to-man, that defender runs with the receiver. And
for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll go down inside the 15 at his own 13-yard line. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. And so close to hitting pay dirt last time, fumbling down near the goal line. Now, how does that affect their psyche this time around?
It's a tester, that's for sure, because to be that close and come away with no points is really disappointing, not just for the guys on offense, but the defensive players, too, who thought, hey, we're going to put some points up and have a little momentum going. They've got to find a way to just get it out of their minds, let it go, and move on to the next series.
And he will lose yardage here back to his own 6. He lost 4 there, and it's third down. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop him here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
He's got the completion to Strong. And they're able to convert on third with a solid gain of 23. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs.
And the ball is knocked out and picked up by the Chargers. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. And now San Diego getting set to go. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be second and very short. And now they're in the hurry-up. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 250 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. They're going to look to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. That one intended for Keenan Allen, and it's third down.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass, excellent job. Way to knock it down.
The Broncos going dime. 2 extra defensive backs for third down.
Playing pass all the way.
And that is incomplete. He was looking for Travis Benjamin that time. And that brings up 4th down.
And that was a nice play. He knocked it away, but obviously you want the interception in this situation. You want to take away any chance that they have any decision to make on 4th down. But things happen so quickly in the end zone in this compressed area of the field that you're just happy to knock it away and not allow a touchdown.
That one good for 10 yards. And the decision to go for it pays off. They've got a 1st and goal. And the offense moving quickly to the line. 5 yards to go for the offense. 1st down and goal from that 5-yard line. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here? Well, an incomplete pass certainly doesn't look like a good play. For the guy throwing it today, as many interceptions he's thrown, he's got to feel a sigh of relief that the ball actually hit the ground and didn't go in the other direction.
And this is going to be incomplete. Tyrell Williams was the intended target, and it brings up 4th down. A field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4th.
No. Check. Patriots.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And this is complete. It's Allen. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen, his first touchdown on the year. And the Chargers capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This one taken from the 7. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That could be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things.
Now the Chargers are going to look up here and signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
It was a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
And now here's a carry heading left. And some space here. And finally out of bounds down near the 10-yard line. A huge play there for Denver. 43 yards on the ground. And they'll try to squeeze in one more play here before the 2-minute warning. And it's 1st and goal now, but still 10 yards to go. And a nice pickup there as he'll take it from the 10 down to the 5-yard line. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting to run. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll wind up losing. And now the Chargers are going to signal for another timeout. That'll be their 2nd, so one more chance to stop the clock here. And we'll be back. Now they'll run it on the toss. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. So they settle for just the 3 there, but clearly anything helps when you're trying to salt one away here in the 4th.
Without a doubt, I think a touchdown would have been the final nail. But 3 does give them some breathing room and lets them build up a little cushion.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now San Diego getting set to go. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit with play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Hogan now. He's got his man on the crossing route. That one goes for 24 yards.
I know we just saw a nice throw and catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
And he finds a man on the crossing route. They'll get 19 yards there. Good enough for a San Diego first down. And they're going to speed things up here. Now a play fake here on first down. Looking left sideline, incomplete. That one intended for Keenan Allen, and it's second down.
Sometimes it looks pretty simple, batting the ball away. But oftentimes there's some pretty good teaching and practice that goes into it. Being able to get to the receiver, not interfere, and get his hands through the football and knock it away.
It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that'll lead here to a third down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
And a field goal obviously means nothing here. They're going to go ahead and go for it on fourth down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
An encroachment penalty here, maybe just a mental lapse, partner.
Sometimes you have to just watch the football. Make sure it's snapped before you're jumping.
And he'll give it here to his running back. So he got 3 on 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Call it a gain of a couple there as it'll leave him with a second and just 3. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Now they'll run it on the toss. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Into the fourth quarter now. The offense.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. On the toss, Bernard. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. And quickly they get to the line. Simeon. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end. But now this game is over. But, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Denver, it took a few weeks, but they finally get their first one of the season here in Week 4. And they'll get a few days to savor this one before they take on the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for the Chargers, they'll sink now to 0-4, and they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From San Diego, so long and good night, everybody.
Put away your inhibitions. Let the beast in you just get loose. We all young, wild, and different. We can all get from a little. I know you're terrified by what the future lies, but there's no compromising. It's my way or the highway. We all just slave the lust, heart building, breaking trust. Don't get wild when we come out. Like don't get loud when the come out. That's instant. Keep up with your friends thing. Tell they bougie, go wait in line with them lame. Talking real rap, tell them break.